To be honest, the majority of dating advice for women seems like it was written in 1952. To avoid hurting his ego, you are instructed to be gentle, to embrace your feminine energy, and to basically behave like a sentient marshmallow. However, this is the harsh reality from the other side of the fence. In reality, men don't attach to soft things. Instead, they attach to things they fear losing. I'll offer you 5 words today that serve as biological anchors in a man's brain. These are more than just compliments. Compliments are inexpensive. His rational filters are circumvented by these neuro-linguistic stimuli, which activate the hero circuit. However, and this is a big however, most women follow a certain pattern that completely ruins his interest when they attempt to use these. That will be fixed. Stay put since you're unknowingly pushing him in the direction of the exit door if you utilize word number 3 without doing the fortress check. The psychology of why words work. You must comprehend the male operating system before I can provide you with the list. Men are biologically predisposed to be competent and protective. A man's brain searches for another game to play if he doesn't feel like he is winning at being your partner. The majority of women attempt to gain a man's affection by helping him. You plan, you cook, and you give. That's good, but it fosters comfort rather than attachment. Additionally, comfort is the place where attraction dies. You must alter his self-perception when he is standing by you in order to foster attachment. You are more than simply his girlfriend, you are the mirror that reflects his best self. The mirror is tilted by these 5 words. Word 1, the hero circuit is safe. Let's begin with a word that defies logic. Safe is the word. Hold on, I'm not referring to you telling him that he gives you a sense of security, though that's okay. I'm referring to your statement that I feel safe being myself around you. I get what you're thinking, Elric, that sounds a little sentimental. However, pay attention to the mechanics. 90% of men's lives are spent in armor. We are attempting to appear as though we have our lives together, competing with our friends, and performing at work. It wears you out. You are informing his nervous system that the fight is finished when you use the word safe. You're making yourself his haven. This is where ladies go wrong. They demand additional time by using the word safe. Only when you text me every hour do I feel secure. Quit. That is a hostage negotiation, not a trigger. The proper manner. Drop it at a peaceful, beautiful moment. Perhaps you're both just driving or lounging on the couch. You turn to face me and say, you know, I realize today that I feel completely safe just being myself with you. I don't feel compelled to perform. Boom. He didn't have to battle a real bear to receive the provider trophy from you. The decrease in his cortisol levels will be linked by his brain to your presence. Since you are the only area he doesn't need to be on, he will begin to want you like a drug. Word 2, honor. The trigger for status. Respect is the word. Love is the most valuable commodity in the female language. Respect, however, is the gold standard in the masculine psyche. For a man, respect is a ranking, while love is an emotion. I truly admire the way you handled that, you say. Alternatively, I admire your work ethic. You are confirming his competency in the world, not only because you like him. Consider it this way. Instead of living in a house with a lady who believes he is a fortunate fool, a man would prefer to live in a chilly shack with a woman who appreciates him. What kills interest? The deceptive regard. At this point, a woman will say something like, I respect that you finally decided to do the dishes. That's not respect, ladies. That's a lecture veiled in sarcasm. Instead of his attachment instinct, it sets off his rebelling reflex. The proper manner. Look for something that truly makes him proud. Perhaps a challenging discussion he had with his supervisor. Or how he handled a challenging social circumstance. A few hours later, bring it up. I truly admire how you maintained your composure, which was something I was considering earlier. Most people would have lost it. You are indicating that you are a high-value observer by particularly mentioning the word respect. You see the version of him that he wants the world to see. When a man discovers a woman who genuinely appreciates him, he starts to fear losing that approval. He will be devoted rather than merely attached. We have only just begun. The secret to his sustained dedication lies in the next word. However, the majority of women utilize it at entirely inappropriate times. Word 3, believed. The loop of responsibility. However, I don't mean to imply that you should flirt with the waitress. That is the standard expectation. I'm referring to the statement, I have never trusted anyone's judgment more than yours. This is the key. Men are designed to be heavy lifters. As long as the weight feels meaningful, we actually enjoy it. You're not merely complimenting a man when you tell him you trust his judgment. He is receiving a set of keys from you. You're stating that he'll follow your example. A psychological sunk cost investment results from this. He feels a biological need to safeguard your trust once he is aware of it. Because he is now accountable for your happiness, he gets connected. What kills interest? Use trust as a weapon. I had faith that you would return home by 8. It has nothing to do with trust. That has to do with control. A man who is under control wants to rebel. A man is motivated to take action by trust. When he makes a tiny, wise choice, use this term. Like navigating a travel delay or picking a fantastic meal. He won't want to return those keys if you let him feel their weight. Word 4, observed. The theory of the invisible man. The majority of men feel like utilities during the day. They are appreciated for their contributions, earnings, and repairs. As human beings, they feel essentially invisible. You always make sure I'm on the inside of the walkway when you say it. Or, I've noticed that you've been exerting yourself a lot recently. For him, something changes on the inside. You are identifying yourself as a high-level observer. You are more than just a passenger in the relationship. You are observing the subtleties of his personality. A small hint. Don't simply thank a man if you want him to repeat an action. Inform him that you saw it. The act of saying thank you is courteous. It's a personal observation, I noticed. It gives him the impression that you have a unique perspective on him. He will develop an addiction to that sensation. Word 5, hours. The pivot for future pacing. Even though the last word is the tiniest, it is the one that strengthens the bonds between people. Ours is the word. Not my. Not your own. But ours. We ought to have that. Or, I adore that this is where we are. We refer to this as a linguistic open loop. You are casually and non-threateningly depicting a shared future when you use the word ours. You are merely marking the area, you are not requesting a ring. The killing pattern. Forcing intimacy too early by using ours. You're not building a fortress, you're building a jail, if you've gone on 2 dates and discuss our future offspring. He will flee when he smells the despair. The proper manner. Spend hours on the little, pointless things. A favorite music, a joke, a specific way you both take your coffee. It fosters a microculture between you two alone. It gives him the impression that he is a member of a private club with only 2 members. The fortress check. The reasons behind the death of interest. He'll now explain to you why these words occasionally make him lose interest. It occurs when the pattern interrupt is absent. You become predictable if you are always cautious, considerate, and aware every 5 minutes. Furthermore, predictability equates to low priority in the male brain. He will quit striving for emotional security if you give it to him 100% of the time. He switches to autopilot. The technique of being his haven while reminding him of its high standards is known as the fortress check. Instead of using the main course, use terms like seasoning. You want him to know that your trust and respect are his greatest rewards, prizes that need to be kept. You take back the words if he slacks off. For a week, you don't notice. You are not controlling him when you utilize these 5 words appropriately. All you're doing is speaking the language that his heart is already programmed to understand. You are assuring him that he is visible, safe, respected, trusted, and a member of a team. Which of these 5 statements do you believe your man most needs to hear at this moment? Post it in the comments. I'm interested to see which one appeals to you. And never forget to be the woman he can't afford to lose, not just the one he desires.